What's up, good people? How you doing? You see the family's already here. The family is already here. We are in the building and we have in line from top to bottom. We got Stockmo up there in your upper left hand corner. And then below him, you got Keenan Grace. And then you got Stocks with Josh pulling it up the rear. So listen, we're going to get right into this market. Mo, we're going to start with you and work our way down. Thanks for the super chat. Okay. And we're going to work our way down. Mo, go ahead and say hello to the people and give us like 1 minute. Like just hit them with a 1 minute warm up.
I'll tell you this, man. Larry, they're dropping money on you already. It's probably because they're like, look, he looks super fly. He's ready to go. Let's get him set up to outperform everybody once again for the next live host. Throw a couple bucks in for old Uncle Larry. Get him looking even sharper. I don't even know if it's possible. But hey, but thanks for having me on, Larry. I love it. The fire we bring together as a group here, all four of us. I know we all have a lot to talk about. I'm looking forward to making tons of cash off the plays we hear about tonight. Folks, if you're ready for it, you want to hear what the Stock Squad has to bring, I think you're going to be happy, so stick around. And thanks again, Larry, for having me on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Keenan Grace, say hello to the people.
Had to unmute myself. I want to give a shout out to my favorite tech background person, man. Larry helped me out with my big screen that I have. I had to say thank you, man. This thing was a brick. It was a paperweight on my desk. I done paid. Family, I don't know if y'all ever seen them Samsung, Nvidia, whatever, big old curved screens that you try to trade on. I got one of those like a year ago. This thing been sitting on my desk, family, but Larry helped me out. So I wanted to say thank you very much.
My man. My man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Come on, Keenan. Come on, Josh. Say hello to the people.
Hey guys, man, I didn't realize that you were able to do that, Larry, because I got another big screen in here stacked on top of my other 48-inch, and I had to get Judah's help with that, but got that working. I want to talk a little bit about Tesla, Larry.
Yep.
Reported earnings.
We gonna get into that. Yep. But You know what? Go ahead and open it up right now, Josh. Let me just bring you to the forefront. Let's just bring you to the forefront and let's talk about Stressler.
Yeah, well, I had said that it made sense to hedge. It was kind of interesting to see it rip initially and then for it to give back all those gains made more sense to me, because really it's not even about Tesla, because I think the market already understood what was happening. This would be the first full year of declining revenue. And but the big story, of course, is SpaceX. And it's a more exciting story. And retail is piling in. I literally just read about 10 minutes ago a story about, grandmas asking their, grandsons to help them somehow get some of that SpaceX IPO. And so this is a story that's getting everybody's attention. And Tesla is going to suffer rotation. It's as simple as that. And let's think about it. We already know that the EVs, this is not a deep moat that Elon has. I think he's done great on full service driving, but the Chinese are doing better at building super plants to push out millions of EVs. And so it's become a little bit of a commodity. In addition to that, he commented during his speech that most of the cars that were out already actually couldn't incorporate full service driving. And, Keenan knows about that. Because he had one that was just a couple of years older, didn't have all the same cameras, and it really couldn't do exactly what the current models can do, right, Keenan? Yeah, so it was just,
I was mute myself, but yep, exactly.
even if he had nothing but good news, the story of SpaceX is overshadowing Tesla, and I'm going to make a prediction on the show. It's overshadowing Tesla. This thing had to go down. I felt it had to go down. I didn't know for certain, but I hedged, and it's been. I think it's still got more pressure to the downside as SpaceX emerges. A lot of that Tesla money is going to roll over into SpaceX. SpaceX is going to be wildly overpriced. Retail is going to pile in, and then it's going to start to drop as bigger institutional money will be dumping on them. And then we're going to see a lot of that money roll back into Tesla once the robots come out. So this is a big transitional moment for Elon's companies. And I think that there's not a good reason that Tesla was going to go back up to all-time highs right now. And I don't see it doing that in the coming days.
Right. Mo, you got anything to say about Stressler?
Yeah, I actually have some of it. It's, kind of looking. You want to put me on the main screen there, Larry?
Gotcha,
There we
buddy. I
go.
got you.
Let's pull that up. I'm looking at it. You guys can see what happened. We got into a nasty looking chart right here. And you had the 5 coming up, the crossover. Of course, it ran up for the next couple of days. But the $1 million question is, are we done? We got above the 50 EMA, coming back down and retesting between the 5 and the 50 EMA. And everybody's wondering, are we going to continue to go? I saw an interesting article as we're looking at this, because if the 5 crosses over and we get that 13 hitting, I think we're still running, at least up to a 61.8% retracement of the initial drop. I don't know if we're there yet, but I was reading an interesting article today about Ford. And it was the guy who runs Ford, the CEO, and he said he was driving one of the Chinese EVs, and he says he loves it. He loved it. And that in itself, he said, told us that we are behind the curve, that the car offered a ton of what we'd call upgrades, and it was dirt cheap compared to what we do in the States. The labor advantages that China gives its EV companies and the government money that the Chinese government throws to the EV industries, they are supporting them left and right. Could you imagine if we were doing that here on a international scale, where the government didn't care how much money it threw at it? It just wanted to win the EV race in the world. That is what China's government is doing with its companies. So when you look at and people always think, hey, it's a Chinese car. Folks, their engineering, as the people at Ford said, is absolutely on point. And so this is no longer one of them ones where everybody's sitting back. They're now trying to copy China. Remember a few years ago when China tried to copy us, and they did, and then they took it to the next level now. And they got the support of the government, and they're quick. And we don't do that in the States. Here it's slow, it's expensive. We think we have the technology and everything we're doing safe and no one can get it. China got it in the partnerships. They just went in and said, yeah, we want to sell in China, so here's our secrets. China said, thank you. You can sell here, but we're going to make a competitor, and we're going to support them with our government, and we're going to go buy you. And it's exactly what is happening around the world. It is insane.
I got just one more comment to say at the end of Mo's. First of all, you know the U.S. loves that corporate welfare. That's the only reason why Intel is not $20 a share right now. But I know I agree with what Mo is saying. And I do want to say, though, that I'm excited about this Tesla pullback. And I am not one to forget that we were buying Tesla for $100 at the beginning of 2023, January 3rd, I believe. And so this is a great company to own. Elon's got incredible vision. They're going to be having the biggest chip manufacturing plant in the world. They're going to put them chips in space. He will never, if this guy stays alive, he will never cease to have amazing business ideas rolling out to the public. He knows how to shift and how to pivot. And, SpaceX is a testimony to that. He takes rockets up in the air and brings them back. It's a lot cheaper not to crash them into the ground or leave them in space. And so, no, I'm a huge Elon fan, and I'm excited about it being beat up and beat down. I don't like that impact on the shares. But if you hedge your position, you buy some puts, it's the only thing you can do is hedge your position, wait for it to come down, cash out those puts, and load it back into shares and go long again on future vision.
Now, my last point of that, Larry, before everybody moves on here, was that's the EV point. I'm not here buying into Tesla as I've been doing because of just the EVs. I have said it before. If you look at the robotics, if you look at what he could do with the AI and the robotics and all that, and you have a vision of 5-10 years out there, he could dominate the home robotics. And it's not if. And for those who think it's a dream, it's not a dream. There will come a day that we're living the Jetsons life. Everybody has a Rosie. and and the Rosie's going to be created from Tesla. And once Tesla dominates that, you are going to see a trillion and trillions of dollars flowing into home robotics, and hopefully my Tesla stock just running like a champ. And so that's where I think we're going to go. Obviously, are we going to get a piece of some of these IPOs out there as Tesla holders? And can they continue to do what they do in the EV space? It's not like they're a joke. They're one of the best companies in the world. So there's a lot of positives for it. And just like Josh said, once we get these sale prices, I have no problem buying.
Yep. Hey, before I get to Keenan, I want to thank everybody for the super chats. We got Juan in the house. He said, much love and respect to the Stock Squad. Appreciate the consistency and all the knowledge you share. It's making a real difference. Okay. We got a lot of people here. Thank you guys for your super chats. Listen, Keenan, what say ye?
So like Josh said, the new self-driving Teslas are not like the old ones. I had a 2022 Tesla Model 3. And if you ever look at the design, the camera on the front is actually close to the roof of the car. But in the newer ones, it has a camera up there, but then it has one that's somewhat under the hood, right? So like right in the very front, like where the grill would be on a combustion engine car. So it's way better than it used to be. So I was fortunate enough to not have to buy another Tesla, and Josh drove me around in his, or the Tesla drove us around. So then we got to see that it's way better. So now the full self, what do they call it? Full self-driving is actually up 51% compared to like last year. So we see that there's over 1 million people who are now driving it. People are trusting it more and more. Somebody has said that Tesla has convinced 1.2 million people to be beta testers on the subscription model. So, people have opinions, and that's fine. I'm actually a major, what I would consider major shareholder of Tesla. I have like almost $500,000 in Tesla, and my
Let's
average
go.
is, right,
Tesla
my average
in
is
the
$200
house.
a share. So I say that to say, I'm holding on to Tesla, but I want everybody to know this. I believe in Tesla. I believe in the Optimus bot coming out. I believe in their partnerships with SpaceX being with Elon Musk. However, what I will not believe in is me losing money on this. I'm already up 100%. So if this thing comes down ever, which it may not, but if it ever comes down and gets close to my average, I'll jump out. I'm not going to allow myself to lose a winning trade. And I know that the PE on Tesla, Wall Street hates it, right? There's so many things going on. So at the end of the day, I'm here because I remember that I'm trying to make money. I'm not trying to join an army. I'm not trying to join a team. I'm not trying to do anything like that. I'm trying to make money. Elon Musk, if he can make me money, then I'm there. But if he can't make me money, then I'm gone. So that's how it is with me. And I'm keeping it that simple.
Yeah, listen. A lot of people just bought the Tesla. Look at Tesla, man. This is insane. Look look at what happens at earnings. You see that, Mo? I'm on a 5-minute.
Yep.
Look at what happened at earnings, and then look at what happened afterwards.
It's like a $40 swing.
Like
Free falling. It just
Tom Petty, baby. Tom Petty.
And dump. I like Tom Petty. He says, I'm a free falling. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's absolutely insane, man. But I'm like Josh, I like the position. But listen, Josh and I was in Vegas at the Bitcoin conference. We went to lunch and Rosie came and served us our dinner. Right, Josh?
Mm-hmm.
A robot came and served us our dinner, right? Then Josh and I was in another state not too long ago, and we were talking and we saw this big mini helicopter drop off a package from Amazon. Just came, right, Josh? Came in, dropped the package, boom, the drone did. It was a big drone with Amazon on it, and it flew away. So there's 2 jobs right there. My buddy who's here now visiting, he was in the hospital and a robot came up while the nurse was in the hospital. A robot came in and served all of his medicine. And she says, thank you. And the thing blinked. I think it was flirting at me. It blinked like this, and it was like, "Hey, what's your name?" And then it turned around and rolled off. This is no joke. And listen, AI and robotics is not just coming; it's here. And I got to take my hat off to Josh about Elon and robots. He been beating that drum for a minute. I got sick of Josh talking about Elon and the robots taking over. And now, one of the things I noticed, Josh, since you've been talking about it, because I've been on it too, right? But Josh has really been on it. If you go to a Tesla shop, you will notice the robot in the window is getting sharper, sharper, leaner, leaner, leaner. It's getting more defined and more defined right before our eyes. Go look at a picture of it when it first came compared to it now. It's crazy. It's crazy. So what we're going to do here, guys, let's talk about the overall stock market. Then we're going to go to crypto. Then we're going to come back to the stocks. Okay. Mo, what do you got to say about the overall stock market? What's happening? The taco trade, what have you? The floor is yours.
That's it, man. I'll tell you what, we got a lot of things going on. This is the Q's. The one thing I'm telling people over at my place is that we had a beautiful run. We had to break in the Bollinger Band. We came up 5 cross. We jumped on longs. We made a lot of 100% hits. And then the 13 cross, that's exactly what we're looking for. We break this current high. We're expecting a higher run. We get it. But now, where are we at? We're all the way up at 75 on the RSI, on the Qs, on the dailies. In other words, we're at a point where, yeah, we enjoyed making a ton of money over the last few weeks. And now, like Larry said, we got this whole taco trade. And it was not if, but what he was going to say, because he was threatening to blow them up. Bombs are going to, all this stuff he was talking about. And we knew as we got into Tuesday, Wednesday, we were going to get what? Hey, because of whatever reason. And the only thing we didn't know is what was going to be the reason, the kindness of his heart. Another country. Well, and he said they're fractured and they need time. So we're going to extend the ceasefire. And boom. We knew the market should run over the next 48 hours, which they did. And crypto continues to run. The stocks run. Everything runs. And I'm going to give you one basic 30-second thing. Larry Fink of BlackRock said oil is going to go to 2 prices and there is no in the middle. He said it is going to $150 a barrel or it's $40 a barrel, and it's going to last for years, and there is no middle. I'm on the side that it's going to $40 a barrel. Russia's sanctions have been lifted, eased, we'll say. They are going to allow Iran to just ship out as much oil as they want. That's going to be the final piece. And Venezuela is now working with the U.S. on just loading up oil everywhere. If you can't see the writing on the wall following the macroeconomic situation around the world and the global energy supplies, it is screaming that these oil companies that ran up like chance because it's $100 a barrel will eventually tank once it gets down to $40 a barrel. And once we're there, your gas will be under $2 a gallon. And they got an election coming in November. They're going to try their tails off to get that gas down to we'll say 250 nationwide before election. And they're going to float out, ready for the surprise thing. I'm calling it now a stimulus check. You're going to hear talk of it. They're going to try to pass something. I don't know how, but it'll pick up closer to election day because they did it before years and years and years ago, and I'm expecting it again.
I got something to say about this stuff too.
Keenan, come on.
So, all right, you guys gave me right. So,
yes, sir.
Yep.
I want to say it was the last live stream. I forget if it was or not. Somebody in the comments let me know. But I was telling you all this was before the market ran back up, before we heard about ceasefires with Iran, and I was telling you, I'm like, guys, we listen to the chart. You know my thing. Trade with the chart, but not with your heart. But the next thing isn't going to be charts. It's going to be the news. And then boom, Donald Trump, ceasefire, took the market from all the way down. If you look at SPY, near 620 at lows, all the way up to like 712. And I'm telling you this, the charts are the best tool that the stock market has ever seen. However, these days and times, there's a little extra sauce on top of it and it's Donald Trump, and it's the
Yep.
manipulation coming from Wall Street. It's the manipulation, not even just Wall Street. Wall Street is getting manipulated. It's getting that bad, where the government is now playing some game with people's lives over in Iran, and then that is causing the market to run. So
Yep.
when you hear about a ceasefire and you see the market run up, just know it's going to turn around again, and you're going to get another chance
Yep.
to get back in if you missed it. But guess
Taco
what?
Tuesday. Come on.
This is the thing. Family shooters shoot. Shooters
Yep.
shoot. You can't be afraid to shoot. If you think you're going to miss the shot, you won't shoot. But guess what? Don't be afraid to shoot, right? Don't be afraid to shoot the shot. If you miss the shot, just make sure that you have calculated the risk to the downside and then shoot it again. So I had did a webinar and we were talking about that. I seen somebody in the chat mention it. And the reason I bring this up is because I was telling you about the Fibonacci, right? There's no recording of this. This is a one-time, one and done. But we're talking about how we passed over the 50% mark. And then at that point, the market, it was green lights all on it. We were over the 662, 50% on the fib on the downtrend. As soon as we retraced 50%, family, I'm talking about the call options we're printing. I'm talking about, I'm looking at money moves. They print money. I'm looking at stocks with Josh Discord.
Yes,
they
sir.
print
We
money.
print money.
I'm looking at Stock Mo, and he's talking about, guys, we just got another 100%. And I'm thinking, the team is killing it. The team is killing it. I'm looking in the chat, and I'm even seeing some of you guys in there saying you
killing
up, you up, you up. But somebody broke my heart. Somebody was telling me that they were down. Somebody was telling me that they were down. And I'm thinking, in this market, if you looked at the S&P 500 and picked anything in the top 50, you should be up crazy right now. But why are you not? And the reason is this. As retail investors, you often find yourself concentrated into something. You either concentrate yourself into GameStop, you concentrate yourself into meme stocks, you concentrate yourself into something. It could even be just hype tech stocks. It could be penny stocks. Stop that over concentration and just get into the general market. And then I'll end on this. Me and Larry had a conversation maybe yesterday, maybe today, and it was about how people are trying to outperform the market who aren't even performing as well as the market. If the market is up and you look at the last year, and Larry, if you could pull that up, and I'm gonna stop here. What is the S&P doing in the last 52 weeks? What is it? I want to say it's like 30%, maybe even 35. If your net worth, all of the money you have is not up that much, you're trying to outperform the market by picking stocks, but you're not even performing as good as the market. Now,
then what should they do? If they not performing as good as the market, what should they do, Keenan?
Yeah, exit the kitchen.
Opinion, listen, I can't buy whole. I can't tell you to buy whole or sell, but I tell you this: you're doing yourself a disservice because when you're not performing as good as the market, when you're not buying VOO, when you're not buying QQQ, when you're not buying VUG, when you're not buying these things, you are hurting yourself. You are hurting yourself because you're going to underperform again and again and again. I want to share
at least 33% over the last year, Keenan. Over the last year, yes, sir.
I'm going to text something to you that I want you to share with everybody.
Okay.
Now, remember, guys, I'm the guy who I decided what to do with my life. I want to get on YouTube and talk about stocks. I want to talk about individual companies. I'm telling you to buy things like VOO. Why? So you can have a strong base and then at least perform as good as the market and then stand on top of your VOO and then outperform the market. This is how it's done. This account that I'm showing Larry is a huge account. Larry, if you could share with everybody, what I'm going to show you right here is not just the account number, not that, right? Mind your business. What I'm going to show you is, look at what it says at the top. Your 1 year cumulative pre-tax performance is 48%. The S&P 500 is 38%. So you see how my performance is 48% on a huge account. Family, this account is millions and millions and millions of dollars in this account. I'm going to just keep it real with you. I'm outperforming the S&P with it. How am I doing it? At a minimum, I'm performing as good as the S&P because that's my base. And then I supplement that with individual stocks that are good. But imagine that I didn't have a strong base. Then I would have been under. I would have been performing maybe like the Bloomberg, maybe like any of that other stuff. So I say that to say this. You got to at least be real with yourself and say, hey, you know what? My account was up 15% in the last year. You're right. I do need to go buy some VOO. I do need to start performing at least as good as the market. My account was up 25%, and I've been picking stocks. Family, if your whole account, not just one little baby trading account, your whole account, if it's not up 38%, guess what you should have did? You should have bought VOO. And then if I got to have this conversation with you again, I'm bringing my belt to the next one.
Come on, man. Come on. You want to borrow my belt? Now, all right. So now I'm going to interject myself, and then Josh, you're going to bring up the rear on this conversation about the overall market. I'm going to tell you guys, and just in my mind, Keenan, just with this taco trade after Liberation Day, this is not counting Liberation Day. Donald J. Trump has put in, he has added to me about $180,000 in one portfolio, right? In one portfolio. Donald J. Trump has put $180 in my portfolio. Why? We were buying when it was down. Guys, Josh, if the taco trade, because some people are just so emotional and they miss it. They're all about semantics. If the taco trade, Josh, was a trading indicator, what would the performance of that trader indicator be?
You know, that's an exciting idea. I need to think about how to make that an indicator, Larry. Thank you for that. I'm going to see if I can somehow put it together. I got to run an algorithm on Trump's Truth Social and put and I got to balance that with Barron's, last minute buys. I got to put it all together and try to figure out how we can profit from that, brother.
Can I give my answer? My answer is 100%. It's 100%.
They're not losing. He's not losing.
It's if the taco trade, I mean the taco trade, not the Trump trade, but if the taco trade was an indicator, I'm going to tell you, it has performed for me 100%. We're going to obliviate Iran. Market down, Larry buy. What was the indicator? Taco trade. We're going to extend it right back up. We're gonna do a blockade on the Straits of Hormuz, and no one's getting in and out, and we're gonna blah 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 blah. Market back down, oil back up. Well, we're gonna wait now. We're gonna give them a chance. Market back up. Market back down. Market back up. That's all the taco trade means. Who cares who you voted for? It has nothing to do with it. That's all the taco trade is. It's a 100% proving indicator. I'm going to shift, Josh, and I want you to come back. I want to talk about Kevin Walsh. I listened to hours of his confirmation hearings. You guys know that Powell is out and Kevin Walsh will be confirmed, right? Kevin Walsh will be confirmed, guys. And I want you guys to look at something, okay? I want you guys to look at what I'm about to show you, right? Let me bring it on the big screen because it's going to lead to some money. Kevin Walsh dominated. How much is Kevin Walsh worth? He is valued to be worth $131 million and $226 million based on financial disclosure, meaning that's the only amount that he disclosed. But watch this. This is why I'm a forensic trader, because I dig deep. Who is Kevin Walsh's friends? That's what I ask. Who is Kevin Walsh's friends? Look at here in the left. Sorry about this big old square. Stanley Druckenmiller, associated billionaire, Morgan Stanley, right? Walsh is married to Jane Lauder, her heiress to the Estee Lauder companies. Okay. All right.
That's a big company.
Watch this, guys. Here is somebody's put in the chat. Larry is pointing to the money, right? Larry's pointing to the money. You're going to say Peter Thiel, founder of what? Palantir and PayPal. These are Walsh's friends. Okay. You guys see that? That's why I'm keeping my Palantir, right? Walsh serves on the board of what? UPS, United Parcel Services. Okay. All right. Morgan Stanley. All right. So this is what I'm saying. And you know who he's friends with? Scott Bessent. He is a close colleague of Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. All right. So these are the things I want you guys to get out of your feelings and start looking at. Okay. And Josh, I want you to come up now. If you didn't see that, I'm telling you guys, I'm keeping my Palantir. And I bought a little more when it was dipping, right? Yeah, but it's over. Okay, we'll see. Josh, you come in and talk about the overall stock market. And I got one more thing I want to show people on Kevin Walsh.
Yeah, well, I want to have a very balanced commentary on the market. You know, when you talk about the market, you really have to talk about timelines and horizons. If you have a very far time frame in mind, and I think a lot of us here do, you know, market's going to go up, right? But we are facing an unusual situation. The market's performing. You know, we ran up with expanding candles. Okay, now normally when you have a major move, the first candle will be super big, and the following candles will be a little bit smaller until they eventually turn into a doji of indecision. We got the opposite. We got a decent size expansion candle off of the lows here. Then this next candle was even bigger, and the last candle was the biggest. Okay, and all of those on low volume. And so the market is doing something a little bit unusual. And, you know, I went back, and I'm not going to bum everybody out by being bearish or talking about recession, but I went back and I compared all this to the dot-com era. And interestingly, there was a very similar setup just like that, where it had this massive reversal. I spent time sorting through all the candles on the S&P 500, and I really couldn't find a set of candles that looked like that, which tells me that it's very unusual. And the only set of candles that even somewhat resembled it, this very quick move off of the bottom back to an all-time high, was actually back in the dot-com era. Now, what does that mean? We can linger in distribution for another year. And the truth is, beyond that, we don't know what type of events are going to come. You mentioned Trump. Trump has been a massive factor to moving the markets up and down. Okay, so we don't know what's around the corner in a couple of years. We don't know if midterm elections are going to lead to a change in the government. Wall Street actually loves gridlock. Right now, we don't have gridlock. We've got a president who kind of do what he wants to do. So we don't know what the news story is. I can tell you that we do run the risk of the AI story playing out in the form of a bubble. And I think we've all been saying that you've got SpaceX, you've got Anthropic, you've got ChatGPT. These are the companies that kicked off AI. And these are the companies that are going to be going public between now and next year. And I have to believe that these are likely going to mark some form of a top of the local bubble and a pop. And I'm not terribly bearish about it, because I'll tell you guys this. If you go back in history, back when in the dot-com era, Amazon was trading around $100, and it got caught up in the fear. It was at that time an internet company, and all the internet companies got punished. And because Amazon was an internet-based company, they got punished. The stock went from $100 to $6. And of course, if we could have put our life savings and every dollar we earned into Amazon at $6, you know, you could be a billionaire right now.
A billionaire.
A literal billionaire. And so that opportunity is ahead of us. So I don't look down the road with the concerns that I have in a state of fear. When the market gives you an opportunity to buy, you got to be prepared for it. Now, the biggest thing that I would say to everybody is, Larry, I don't know if you can you put up my chart so I can share something?
I don't have I can't. I'm sorry.
No worries. No worries.
I don't have
If you
it
go
set
back,
up. Yeah.
yeah. So there is some interesting candles that I'd love to point out to you guys. And of course, in the dot-com era, there was a convoluted diamond pattern at the top of that move. Now, what's the good news behind that? A diamond pattern basically is like two megaphones. Okay. The market, whenever you have a megaphone, what that means is you've got higher highs. In addition to that, higher lows or higher lows. No, lower lows. I apologize. A megaphone is higher highs and lower lows. And that's not directional. It means that when we're ripping hard, but when we're falling harder. That's a megaphone. Well, eventually that stops and it turns into an inverse or reversed megaphone. And we begin to go into a tighter pattern where we actually have lower highs and higher lows, right? Until we get to a peak of decision. The last time the market did something similar to what it just did in the last 3 weeks, it was another 8 months before it ultimately pivoted and had a huge drop or a a pop in the bubble. I agree with Larry. Palantir, we just had the biggest opportunity. We made in my Discord, we made 330% shorting Palantir on that crazy and ridiculous drop. I turned around, bought calls, and made a fair amount of money going back up. I cashed out, but I actually believe that Palantir is going to do extremely well. And it wouldn't shock me if it gets all the way back up to its all-time highs. Now, that's not a prediction. I'm just telling you that during this run of the AI story that's involving companies like Anthropic and ChatGPT, all of the AI stories are going to thrive. And to that point, I have to shout out a pick that we discussed in Sqaud Lives over the course of the last year that I never varied my commentary on one bit, and that was POET, Poet. And every time I was asked about it, this was a company that I actually learned about through one of NVIDIA's earnings and the technology that they have.
You brought that to the family.
Time
Thank
I
you.
was asked about it, I said one thing: buy, hold, don't sell.
Yep.
And I said it's going to $12. Now, they have put on display a war chest of millions of dollars. I mean, there's estimates between 150 to 400. I don't know that I know exactly what the number is, but they basically have come along and said, we're very well positioned. We have legitimacy, and we're going to run this company up. It's a $1 billion market cap company that had been largely trading around $8. Now, I want to share some statistics with you guys. They do about $1 million in revenue, which is virtually nothing. So you're really buying the story here. But what we saw in the news event today is that these guys are saying, we're the ones that we're going to change this data transfer through light. What used to be done through copper, we're going to do it through light. We've got the technology, and it's needed in the industry. And I think that with the war chest they have and the alliance they have with companies like NVIDIA, this company could go to $15 billion in market cap, and that would run the stock up to $100. Now, a big decision to be made. This stock is now sitting at $12, which was the exact prediction that I made in multiple Sqaud live conversations where we talked about small cap picks. It's there right now. Is it time to sell? I want you to know, very tempted. I went back and forth inside my mind. I even thought to myself, yeah, I'm going to sell. You know what? I'm going to sell, and I'm going to let the Discord know. I had to, someone had to wrestle the sell button out of my hand because it's a really big, nice win. But the truth is, and I think I'd love to hear from Keenan. The truth is that you cannot make generational wealth unless you're willing to hold something for a decade or a generation.
Come on, that's what I say.
You're absolutely right.
So
You're absolutely
I'll
right.
tell you guys
Question, how much
that
did Poet go up?
if we do get a big retracement, that's when you got to start thinking, what are the companies that are the Amazons, the future, opportunities to buy? Obviously, Palantir is going to be on that list. I'd love to see Anthropic go through a beating once it goes through its IPO. I think that Poet is going to remain as a leader. And so, I think that the markets do give me some concerns right now, some big concerns. We're in a bullish trend still. We have not broken down, so we cannot short anything. You cannot try to guess the top. You don't want to be in that game. We're still at the top, and means we can go higher. But it does have some problems. There are some underlying mechanics that scare me. And of course, Trump can move it at any given moment. So it's a trader's market still, Larry.
It
Hey,
is.
Larry,
It is. Yes,
can you do
sir.
something for me? Could you pull up Microsoft?
Yes, sir. I will pull up
Anybody in the chat,
Microsoft. I'm going to put up
if you are an
Microsoft and then we're
owner,
going to switch right after that. Start talking about it. I'll pull it up.
all right. If you are an owner of Microsoft stock or made any amount of money off of Microsoft stock, please go ahead and let us know. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because Poet was hard. Poet was hard. That was one that it took Josh's expertise in order to make that one, knock that one out of the park, right? Microsoft was easy. Josh just told you that Poet, it's the story, it's the charts, it's the technicals. He knocked that one way out of the park. Shout out to Josh for that. But Microsoft was easy. Microsoft is up, and I was screaming this when it was in the 350s. It's almost up $100 from where it was. Why is this one easy? Because Microsoft is basically the opposite of Poet. Microsoft is a company that is making hundreds of billions of dollars, and their stock price came way down. And then what? They still kept making hundreds of billions of dollars. The stock price is down. Now the company is making more money. It's an easy story. It was so easy and simple to make money. And honestly, as long as the economy keeps pushing forward the way that it did, and believe it or not, we actually had some jobs. The jobs reports have not been as bad as people thought they were going to be. So
Right.
believe it or not, the economy it's not great, but it's not as terrible as you would expect with everything going on, which is weird, right? So whenever something weird happening going on, just know somebody making money behind it. So it might as well be you. But I say that to say this: Microsoft is still undervalued, but not as undervalued as when I was saying that I was buying it. And I'm talking about I'm banging on the table. It's in the $300
Yep.
range, even 350, even 360. And we
Yeah.
were able to get something like
356 all the way to 433 or 444.
Yep. And I believe it's still going to keep going. But hey, man, you just got to pay attention when you're afraid, you won't shoot. I said you got to shoot the shot, right? Shoot or shoot. So listen, if I would have bought Microsoft at 350 and it would have came down to 300, I would have bought more, right? Because it's a value play, it's an investment. So that's the kind of play that I'll hold for a generation. Larry, that's all I got.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the super chat. We're going to make a shift right now. Super chat, Dane and bro. All four of you brothers have made lots of money for me. We appreciate you. Hey, we appreciate the super chat. Listen.
Larry, we know Damien. We met him in LA. He came, we got a picture with him.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Did he have his hair in braids then?
I think he had on like I think he had braids and he had on like a
Yeah.
turban like me.
I remember.
Yep, I remember. That's my dude. All right. So appreciate you, brother David. So listen, guys, let's go back and let's see. I'm going to point to some more money, y'all. I'm about to point to some more money as we shift over to crypto. All right. Kevin Walsh again, who will get confirmed as the next the Fed chair. He's going to take Jerome Powell's. Jerome is a lame duck right now. Okay. Let's read again. Okay. What's key positives, digital assets? Kevin Walsh, right? Kevin Walsh's policy and views on Bitcoin. He views Bitcoin's price as a policy. Here, look, where I want to go. Where is it? Where is it? Software. Let me go to the back. Kevin Walsh, nominee to succeed Jerome Powell, right? Positives, Bitcoin. He calls it digital gold. If you are under 40, he says, Bitcoin is your new gold. You see that? He also talked about on the confirmation, he said that digital currency is not just coming. He said that it is here to stay and he is for it. He said that it is digital gold. Okay. Now I'm going to use that and we're going to shift and we're going to come to crypto. And Mo, I want you to talk about crypto.
Well, you can just boil it down to one name, Senator Tillis. For those who don't know, I believe he is out of North Carolina, and he came out this week and changed everything. said, hey, we need more time. We can't do the clarity markup vote. Give us more time to get everybody on board. And we see the poly markets the odds of passing collapse. But crypto's not dropping. That's because even with the war, with the inflation, the energy prices, the Clarity Act not passing, and it's just creeping up slowly. Every time it would hit a certain range between $1.35 and $1.28 for my XRP, institutions bought. When Bitcoin dipped into the 60s, institutions bought. Retail ran for the streets, man. I'm out of this thing. And every time they sold, institutions sat there and said quietly, we'll take it. And then at that point, Till is coming out and basically stalling this thing till May. But if we don't get a vote on the Clarity Act in the committees by May, it's all she wrote. It's all she wrote, because procedures in the Senate to go to the House, to go back to the Senate, to get it to the president, there's not enough time. May 5th's your date, boys and girls. If we get to May 5th and they don't have a Clarity Act markup vote in the committee, the banking committee, I say we're going to wait until November, December. You're going to get a skinny version of the Clarity Act, just market structure, CFTC versus the SEC. What's a commodity? What's a security? And it's going to be very thin. It's going to get to a government shutdown. And then, boom, they add it to something like the defense spending bill, like they did in the last 2 years, 2024 and 2025, passed in December. And, everybody adds on their favorite projects. That, to me, is the most likely way we get it done. They're going to drag their feet. Democrats are going to blame Republicans. Republicans are going to blame Democrats. And it's going to quietly die in that committee because they couldn't get it together. The banks win, the banks win, the banks win, and you're going to pay and get your 0.1% interest. Story just went to the bank today. They said, hey, we got a brand new account. Would you like to upgrade? I go, what's the interest on it? They said 0.02% annually. I said, so if I give you $1,000, I get 20 cents at the end of the year? And they said, we're sorry. And they were embarrassed that because I know math. And I said, that's absolutely horrible. And so banks are going to continue to protect that golden goose. They're going to continue to take the money from the working man and the working woman, and they're not going to give us hardly anything for our money, and they're going to charge you 10% interest, and they want it codified that they can do this in this piece of legislation.
Hey,
Things
Mo.
are changing, folks.
Mo, you and I are neighbors, right?
Yep.
And somebody is cutting our grass. They've been cutting my grass for a long time. And I've been paying them $20. You come along, you're my new neighbor, you move in and you say, I'll pay you $40. And I call the police and say, Mo is paying this guy $40. Stop him. And the police shuts Mo down. That's exactly what the bank is doing in crypto. Mo, continue it.
Un-American. So
Yep.
What do we have? Teddy Roosevelt, who broke down the monopolies. Think about the monopolies back in the day, the steel monopolies, the railroad monopolies, the oil monopolies. He broke them down. He wasn't supposed to be president, but he made it. And once he broke it down, oh man, working people loved him. He went down in history as someone who broke up the big companies that ruled politics, ruled the law. Now, I never thought I'd live to see a day where it was blatantly obvious that we have the big bank. The banks. You never hear of that as a monopoly. Oh, but they are. It's a monopoly in the sense that they can go ahead and throw $100 million in lobbying over the last year to the politicians to get them to stop and codify no interest. So I just want to go out and play baseball, but I only want to play against teams I can beat every single time. Well,
Yep.
Here comes a team. They're pretty good. Get the cops, like Larry said. I'm putting them in jail. I want it codified. They can't compete with me. Well, that's not American. We have free market economy. Or do we? So when you leave here today, understand that or do we is just being sarcastic because we don't. They're paying to make sure they can't have interest, which is ridiculous. And, there's a million solutions out there. They're not picking any of them that make sense, Oh,
Look, somebody said, speaking of grass, you guys have anything on pot stock?
yes, that is coming. Listen, they should have did this 2 days ago. 420, baby. Get this thing done. Legalize it. No, not legalize it. They're declassifying it. And after they do, is it gonna be to sell the news, or is it going to be what? I would say personally, for the pot stocks out there, my friends out there that I know love the herb. Here's the deal. If you're trying to make money on this, I personally believe you stick to the top 2 to 5 businesses in the industry. I know there's going to be a lot of penny stocks that people are looking at. Go with the leaders, man. This industry could explode to a point that it is ridiculously hot in terms of global, but to stick with the big players right now. If this industry gets what it wants as it goes over the next 5 to 10 years, those ones alone should outperform the market.
Yes. Yes. Listen, I want to talk about, you know what, Josh? I want you to just talk about the overall crypto. We're going to hit hard in crypto since we're in crypto, Josh. I want to give you guys more time. And I want you to talk about the overall crypto market, like really quick, because we're running out of time.
Well, if we didn't go down for one more leg or a tough moment, this would be unlike any of the crypto winters we've seen in the past. And I know there's maybe half the people listening don't even believe in a crypto winter idea. But so far, believe it or not, we're following the last winter perfectly to the T. Everything that we've done, we did in the last winter. Now we are at a spot, this exact spot this week, where this is the moment, right? This is the moment where it's either going to, over the course of next week, break down or do something that is a complete change of character. We've already had a change of character in that we got to where we got right now. Just this little inch of space that we're at. Now, if you look at a weekly descending, there's a descending line of resistance on the RSI, which we have not broken out above. If we did, then that would be a trend. That would be a signal of a potential trend reversal. I want to make a comment about some stocks that didn't quite hit support levels, because there was people down there camped out wanting to load up. And the truth is that, we don't have to go down that third leg that we always do on Bitcoin. Always has one more bottoming moment. It always does. And then it typically will have about 3 months of going sideways and skimming the bottom, causing everybody to just lose faith. We didn't get that. And so, this right now on Bitcoin has a little bit of a V-shaped, feeling to it at the moment. All I can do is what I did. I wasn't as ambitious as my man Keenan, but I turned on daily buys, and I have not turned them off. And so no matter what happens, whether we go up or whether we go down, know that Joshua is buying Bitcoin every single day. And today, I actually tweaked that number up. Why did I tweak it up? I'm a little scared. I'm scared I don't have all my bags filled. I know Keenan's got all of his bags filled, man. He's ahead of me. We were talking about it the other day. But if there's any chance that Bitcoin does something that I don't expect it to do, and it breaks with the norm, I can't afford not to be buying these levels. And truth be told, based on what I see in the market, if we did get a leg down, really, what are you going to? And I said this in the last a couple years back when we were bottoming out at 17,000. I said in a video that day, I said, for the want of a couple $1,000s, not getting Bitcoin between 15, 5, and 12 or 10, what people were talking about. I said, instead of looking at that 5,000, look at the fact that this asset will potentially be 80 to 100,000 in the next 2 years. And now we don't have that difference of 2 to 4,000. The differences that we're looking at are probably 20,000 between here and a potential bottom. But the principle still applies. For the want of 20,000, are you going to give up 100,000 or 200,000? That's the question on the table for me right now.
All right, guys, I'm going to take a station identification break, and I'm going to talk about a few things, and then we're going to come back with closing remarks. But before we do this, I want to answer a question that someone keeps asking. I want to answer it. Okay. Yes, I am long quantum computing. Here are my 2 quantum computing stock, IONQ, followed by Rigetti. If you look over the last 6 months, it looks horrible, right? If you go over the last month, it's a whole different story. You see that? So the last month was the time to really get in. And then if you go down to the week, you will see that Rigetti is down. But when you go out a year, you see a whole different story. Most people do not know how to get in and get out of quantum computing. Some people got in right here and rode it right here, and they stayed in. It went all the way up as much as 5,000% and came all the way back down like Dogecoin. Why? I told you guys when it was up here, it was too much too quick, and then it came back down to what I call fair value. That was really a squeeze if you ever want to see one. So now it's back down into the range of its fair value, if you ask me. And now IONQ is physically my best pick for quantum computing. I am long, followed by Rigetti. Okay. So
I'm with you on that one, Larry.
Thank you. And I've done a deep dive on it. Remember, anything I say is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell. So if you look at this chart, it simply tells you to just buy on red days. When you see these things selling off by double digits, those are the days that I don't use the term load up, but I buy heavy on those days. And I just wait, and they always come back. You could take that to the bank.
I'd love to
Yep.
throw out a stock that I like right now. Can I do
What-
that, Larry?
Right after the station break, you can throw out that stock on your goodbyes, okay?
Sounds good.
Yep. All right. So here's my station break. Guys, boom. This is the traffic trader. This is in Money Moves. All of us have our I'm in everybody's community, right? I'm quiet, but I'm in everybody's community, all of these guys. In Money Moves, this is the traffic trader. What does it do? And it's called, boom. I know some of you guys don't know. It's called the Larry Jones traffic trader. When we are doing options on the daily, it literally tells you when to buy and when to sell. Where my money movers at, if you've made money, it tells us when to buy, when to sell. Fast traffic is in the left lane, slow traffic is in the right lane. You got traffic lights, and down here at the bottom, you got confirmation that this was going down. Yellow light means a reversal of green, and you are going down. Come join us in Money Moves. It will be the top link below. There's my money movers at. We call them money makers. And I'll be live trading again Friday morning. Get in, get acclimated. Friday morning, I will be live trading. Now, Josh, we're going to start with you. Yep, come on, money movers. Josh, we're going to start with you. I want you to talk about your stock and do your sign off.
Thank you, Larry. First of all, I appreciate you having me on the show. I always enjoy these. They're like historical time capsules. Some very interesting things get said in these stock squads, and I'm so grateful to be part of it and to share this time with you guys. I like UNH. I think that I'm going to share this with you guys. It's got Intel vibes. Matter of fact, I could go into a long commentary about the reality of the literal idea of government-funded corporations. Intel's one of them. This has got all the earmarks of a decline, sideways consolidation that got everybody bored and everybody not looking at it. And there's the immediate opportunity for this to move to 390. Matter of fact, I do believe that this will move to 390. And at that point, I will hedge the UNH that I own, but I'm not hedging now because I believe this is a rocket ship. Now, why do I believe that? I study the charts, but not just the candles. I study the signs of accumulation. There's very healthy buying at this level. So as it popped and retail is unwinding their positions and they're excited about picking this up and taking risk, and the move that we just had, Wall Street is smart money is coming in and buying every single share that they decide to unload. If you are lucky enough to get a red candle on UNH, if I'm lucky enough to get a red candle on UNH, I'm going to pick up some more. And I talk about a checkmate pattern in charts, which is a huge drop, sideways movement, and then a return back to the top. Now, I'm not calling for that right now, but if it did do that, which this company absolutely could do, this is one of these too big to fail type companies. The top is 600. Right now, I'm calling it up to 390. But there's room on this. There's room. It got beat down. It moved its way through that. And I think it's going to be a beneficiary of some coming events over the next couple years. I think that the problems are largely behind us, and we're going to be seeing accumulation. We're seeing accumulation. And this particular play is one that Larry and I have talked about,
Yep.
shared with our communities. And it's had a massive push higher after we did
Massive.
that.
Yep.
We didn't share it today after 3 weeks of green candles. We shared it before it moved.
On
But
the
I'm
low.
just telling you that I'm not selling my UNH.
No, neither am I.
And as soon as we get between that 390 and 400, I will hedge, because that will have been one heck of a move. But I'm going to let that then cool off for a while, give myself 3 to 4 months on those puts, and I'll put that money back into UNH, because I believe that this could see a little bit more. I'm not saying it's going straight up, but I'm telling you, it's got that Intel vibes. And if you get an opportunity for a hard sell off because of anything, earnings, bad news, I think that the worst is behind us on UNH.
Hey, Larry,
Yes, sir.
can you just
Yes,
help me
sir.
real quick?
Yeah, I want you to say everything. I want you to say
Can
everything you want to say, Keenan.
Yeah.
Say everything you want to say.
Somebody I think is about to inspire everybody here. His name is Mike.
Uh-huh.
And his comment, he just said, I'm buying a dip on service now, right? Thanks to, go look for Mike. His thing is a green M. His picture is a green M.
Gotcha.
And I want everybody to see this, because I want you to see the power of being on the stock market. This is what he
You
just
said
said
M?
here. M, letter M, like money.
Okay, a special thanks to Larry and Keenan Mona. Green, that's brown. Thanks.
If you see me in the comments, you'll see that a little bit above it.
Okay. Keenan got my vote if you run for president. That's a M. Mike. Let's go. I'm buying the dip. There we go. That one.
There we go. Everybody look at this. Look at how much money he said he made. He said he made $56,000 on a single trade, right? He said he loved me. I love you too. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because when you find something that is likely to work, that's when you go heavy on it and you make real amounts of money. You can make so much money on this stock market. There's really no limit. We already seen Elon Musk get all the way up to 800 billion. We seen Warren Buffett get all the way up to these billions of dollars. If I go back 20 years ago, I go back 30 years ago, or however many years, right? Maybe even 10 years, and ask Larry, Mo, Josh, Keenan, did you think you would be who you are today? The answer is probably, I always believed in myself, but I never knew it would be like this. So I want everybody to shoot for the stars. When you think you can't have a $50,000 day, says who? There are people who are doing it.
Come on, Keenan,
there are
come
people
on.
who are doing it.
Right. Somebody hit 20,000 on my live trade just the other day. 20,000.
You got to believe in yourself first before anybody else will. So I wanted to just put that on you guys so you can see the possibility. I also want to encourage you to do something for free. Follow me on Instagram. We've been really killing it with the taco trades. I'm Keenan Grace #1, right? That's just me. You'll see me. I got like 60,000 followers over there. Go ahead and follow me for free. I'm giving you all
Wait
kinds
a
of
minute. You
information.
passed your boy up? You passed me up, man?
Mate,
on the ground? Left smoke on me, man? On the ground?
I've been doing it on Instagram over there.
Come on,
really
man.
doing it over there. So family, I'm encouraging y'all to go ahead and follow me on there.
Yep.
And that's really what I got. I want to help y'all to really change the game for yourself.
Before Mo signs off, I encourage you guys to go to all 3 of their pages. We got Keenan Grace. We got Stock Mo. we have Stocks with Josh. As a matter of fact, someone keeps answering this question, asking this question. I've seen this question a million times. In a VTS, would you keep holding? Would you keep holding? Josh, is that one of your plays? Whose play is this? I've seen this, the ticker symbol NVTS. Let's just answer this one.
NVTS
Yes.
is not something that I've talked a lot about, but I've been trading it recently. It's been pretty hot.
Okay. Would you hold it?
Let me quickly jump and look at the chart.
All right. While you're doing that, Mo, go ahead and say what you got to say and sign off to the people.
Listen, Larry. This is only going to take me about 30 minutes to go over. So, with the biggest trade I've ever seen from one of my members, I know you guys brought up the 50,000. I remember the day like it was yesterday. I had a member. They put up their trade. It was a massive option. They went all in. They made a freaking $1 million. They were up at that particular moment in time. And I remember telling them, you need to consider taking massive profit. This is it. You're going to be financially free. They didn't. They let it come back down, and they got only a fraction of what they were up at that moment. I'll never forget that day. Guys, you always think the rocket can't stop,
Mo,
but it can.
you would not believe the conversation I had with my wife today. I tell you guys, I swear on everything, I did not talk to Stock Mo today. I was talking to my wife about this. There was a member in KGU. This happened. This didn't happen recently. This happened a while ago. I'm gonna show you. I got the picture right here. Look how much he made.
Yeah,
$2
was
million.
He
tagged me in it.
Yeah.
He tagged me in it. This was when AMC was jumping off like crazy. $2 million. And the same exact thing happened.
Yeah.
Didn't listen. Didn't put it in more of this into long-term trades. He had basically had a few $100s. Listen to me close. A few $100. Took the riskiest trade of all time, turned it into 20,000. Took the whole 20,000. Took the next riskiest trade of all time. My man won the lottery 2 days in a row. And on the second one, he made $2 million. And he told me, he said, Keenan, he said, first time, this is first time. Let me see if you can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Multi-millionaire, he told me. First time millionaire, $2 million. First time millionaire, $2 million, family. Went crazy. Went absolutely nuts with that. But again, hey, lock some of that in. I told him, but he didn't do it. Now, I haven't heard from him since. I hope he's doing okay.
Now, Josh,
me too.
Larry, that
Yes.
NVTS, it's there's reasons to hold that to 20 to 22. So there's reasons to hold it to 2022 with a tight stop.
Okay, you said it. Now, did do they sign off?
Well, I was going to say,
I love you all. I really enjoyed being here with you tonight, guys.
Go ahead, Mo.
That's what I was just saying, man. Peace and love to everybody. It's been great being here. Uncle Larry, have a good time. I appreciate you having me on.
Hey, it's good to have you guys on. Listen, SoFi you guys are asking for. SoFi is a long-term plays for me. I'm just dollar cost averaging. I'm holding it. You know, all of the credit scare and all the banking scare and all of that. It will one day pass. SoFi is a long hold for me. I'm not selling it. Actually, I have it in my growth portfolio. I said Netflix for me was a swing trade, and Josh convinced me. Now, I got into Netflix at the exact right time for a swing trade. I'm still up massively, and I'm doing well in it, but I bought it in two portfolios. One for a swing trade that I'm going to pop, and then one I'm holding long because Josh talked me into it, and I'm holding it long. Hims and hers. It ran up, guys. It ran up. I get it. It ran up. Should we take profits? If it's a swing trade for you, go ahead and take your profits.
I'm not selling my Hims.
But I'm not selling not one share of it. I'm not selling one share of it. Why? Because of the fundamental story. I told you guys that the weight loss drugs, I told you what Hims and Hers was going to do. I told you about the balance sheets. I told you
I'm with
that
you,
they were
Larry.
going to,
I
yep,
believe in the business model. I ain't gonna lie. I
the,
believe
the
in it.
business model, I proved it to you guys. And the day after I talked about it on our live, it popped. Why? The deal got done with Novo, and it popped. And they own the doctors, they own the products, they own the downline. They are the future of men and women's health. For some of you dudes that keep smoking too much weed and you can't get it up for your wife, they got something for you. Ladies, that you got a low libido, they got something for you. You need your hair right, they got something for you. I'm telling you that I am long and I don't care how much it runs up. When you dig deep under the hood like I did about Hims, you pray for red days. Yesterday it was down by 8%. And you pray for red days on Hims. It's long. Now, if you're swinging it, when it gets hot, it's okay to take a haircut. They got something for that too. All right. I'm telling you, I like what's under the hood. All right, good people. We're going to leave it right there. We can't answer all of these questions. I just tried to hit you with the bop, bop, bop again. Join us. Now, first of all, I want you to go over to Stock Mo's page and I want you to hit that subscribe button. That's number one. Number two, I want you to go to Stocks with Josh's page and I want you to hit that like, subscribe button. Make sure that bell is dingling for all. Bop, bop, bop. And then my man, you know my
IG.
man,
I'm
Keenan
running it up.
Grace. Come on,
Look
my
at these
man,
Instagram
Keenan
followers.
Grace. We want you to go to Keenan Grace's IG. Keenan
Y'all
Grace.
me up right now. Let's go.
Come on, let's burn up. You know what? Let's send Keenan Grace some love on Instagram. And then I'm going to put my IG in the link also too. Y'all follow
Let's
your
get
boy
it.
too. Okay. And then come print money with Money Moves. Literally the one indicator that will take care of everything. That is Larry Jones's Traffic Trader. And we will see you Friday morning as we live trade and make bank. We love you guys. Live, love, laugh, and learn. Deuces.
Peace.